Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, and happy Sunday. I hope everybody is having had a wonderful weekend and is having a great day. I got my water, and let us get into Ladies of London, this week's episode. It is season 4, it is episode 4. The title is Naked Truths. Ooh, okay. So in the beginning, we find out another difference between Brits and non-Brits is emotions. As we all know, Brits tend to keep a stiff upper lip. They keep calm and they carry on. And non-Brits or Americans tend to share their emotions. Okay. So Lottie and Joshua, they go shopping, they go jewelry shopping. She is getting a push present, and they're also looking for some jewelry for some events. And when I was looking at Joshua, he kind of reminded me of like if Timothy Ding Dong Chalamet Jenner was going to dress up as a hipster. Listen. Go back, watch it, and tell me that he doesn't give off that look. Okay, and they also talked about the trip to the winery, and she was like, it was really nice to open up about my father, and Missy told us about her brother, that her brother being shot, and it was nice to get to know people on a deeper level. But then she was like, but Kimmy really didn't share anything that was new. Like, she shared something that we already knew. Okay, Micah and Margot meet up for a massage. That's the 3 M's. Micah and Margot meet up for a massage. Margot said that her family, her son, her husband and her stepsons are going to be joining her in London in 9 days. And she's worried about whether or not they're going to like it in London. And if not, then they would have to move. So she's worried about that. They also talked about the winery. And once again, Micah really liked how people were opening up. And especially she liked that Missy got to open up. And that's when Margot told her about what Kimmy said on the way back in the Sprinter van. And Margot said that Kimmy said that she hated it. And she hated it, and she told her everything she said. And she said that she is going to tell Missy because she thinks Missy deserves to know what she said, because Kimmy isn't really a safe space for her to share items like this, because she wants a place where she's not going to be judged, and Kimmy's not that place. Speaking of Kimmy invites everyone over to a painting party, and she does so she FaceTimes everybody, and she does so amongst her dead pets. When I say amongst her dead pets, she likes taxidermy pets. I think it's creepy and I think it's gross, but she enjoys it more than live pets. I think it's creepy. Okay, Emma pays a visit to Mark Francis. Is his name Mark Francis, or am I making that to Mark? And at his home, and that place, it's beautiful. Like, it has all this art, and it's very curated, and it looks beautiful. It doesn't look anywhere near homey or comfortable. I can't even imagine living in that, but it is beautiful. Emma talks about some of the medical problems she had when she was pregnant. When she was pregnant and when she gave birth, she had quite a few medical problems. And recently she'd gotten a scan, and it came back that she has this pituitary cyst, and it comes back showing that her cyst has grown in size. But she is really like, what she's been doing to take her mind off of it is just taking on more to sort of like just tuck it away, like run away from it. And that's her way of coping. Like, you know, sure, it's there, but I'm going to just do some things to distract myself. And Mark was like, listen, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your health because you have she's like, you know, he's like, you have a family, you have kids, you have a husband, you have me to take care of. I have to say, this was my favorite scene of the week, because Mark is like this. He comes off as this very like stiff upper lip, like I love scandal, and he's very like rigid. But I loved seeing this because this showed that it showed a softness in him, and it showed that these two are really truly friends. Like, they're not just friends in the reality TV sphere. They're friends outside of it. And I really did enjoy seeing that. Okay, so Margot pays a visit to Missy. She's really nervous. She's really nervous about telling Missy what she knows. And she's saying, you know, I don't want to tell Margot, I don't want to tell Missy, but if Missy finds out what was said, and then she finds out that I didn't tell her, what kind of a friend am I going to look like? Like, what kind of friend am I? So, you know, Missy was saying, I think it went super well. Like, I loved being able to get that out and to get to know people on a deeper level. And Margot's like, she's like, what? And Margot tells her what Kimmy said. And some of the stuff she says was, she said that Kimmy said that I really hated that. It wasn't real stuff. And that's what happens with drugs, like when drugs are involved. Missy's really hurt. And I don't blame her. She's hurt, and she's shocked that someone who's a mother could say something like that. Like, you would think that as a mother, you would have some like level of sympathy and compassion. And this is the reason why she doesn't open up and tell anyone, because then they're just going to judge her. Okay. So Kimmy's painting luncheon. Everybody's going to show up. The last two people to show up are, Margot and Missy. And beforehand, it seems like everybody else knows. Like, everybody else knows that Missy knows what Kimmy said. Everybody knows what Kimmy said, and everybody knows that Missy knows what Kimmy said. Except we then find out that no, in fact, Kimmy does know. A little magpie told her, and that little magpie is Martha. Listen, and about Martha, thank God Margot's tough love and Margot's talk with her last week had made her kind of start paying attention and maybe not living life like so dangerously and so, I don't want to say stupidly, but kind of stupidly. Thankfully, she's paying attention. Okay, so everybody goes upstairs. Everybody shows up finally, and they go upstairs for some painting. They bring out the painting inspiration, and it's this model Dev. He's attractive. He really isn't shy about taking his clothes off and just showing his, as they would say in Britain, showing his willy to everyone. He was very okay with it. The ladies had a lot of fun with that. Mark, not so much. And then they went downstairs for a brunch. That brunch was very adorable, cute, very cute. And Missy pulls Kimmy aside. Missy is hoping for an apology. I don't think that's going to come. And Kimmy says when she's heading over, she says something like, well, I hear you're a little upset with me. Missy says, I am. And Kimmy doesn't understand why. Like, she had said, she kind of just discounted it, was very flippant about it, and said that's what happens when drugs are involved, and was very crass and like very unsympathetic about it. So Missy starts talking, and then Kimmy interrupts and says, well, listen, it's just not right to throw this throw this sad story on people you hardly know. Listen, she said it wasn't the right setting, and she didn't say she got triggered, but she said that I've had something bad like this happen to me, something bad like this happened to me too, happen in my life. And that, to me, as soon as she said that, I thought, oh, we were triggered. Because it seems like she had a difficult life. And it seems like her father might have been like maybe running with the tough crowd, like the wrong crowd. So she got triggered. Meanwhile, everybody else is talking over at the other table. And Margot is saying about how I don't like how she's over there yelling, talking about Kimmy. And she's, she says she needs to apologize to Missy. And Martha just comes out and is like, listen, Kimmy isn't going to apologize. She's had like a lot of shitty things happen to her. She's had a tough life, but she isn't going to talk about it. She's not going to do therapy. She's just going to go out and party and drink. And that's Kimmy. Like, that's just Kimmy. Kimmy's going to say what Kimmy's going to say. But now listen, I'm with Margot. So you're just supposed to let her say what she's going to say horrible things. And if you don't, then it's okay for her to just go off on you. I mean, and none of her close friends are going to call her out on it. It's true. There's enablers. They're Martha, Mark, Emma. They're not going to call her out on it because they are British. And if you're British, you don't talk about things like this. You just keep everything in. You're very like a very hard exterior. You don't show emotion. So they're not gonna say anything to her. And then when she's around people who are gonna hold her account, are gonna, say, I don't think this is right how you were acting. Well, then she just lets loose and we're supposed to be okay with it. No, that's not right. So Margot goes over to join them, and that's like instant fireworks. Kimmy is saying that in the background that like Margot is twisting the story to get attention for her. I don't think she's twisting the story. Missy says that Margot said you were making fun of me, which Kimmy denies. It was borderline making fun of her because at one point she was like kind of making like a snoozing, like a snoring to imply that it was boring. To me, it just came off as very not compassionate, very unsympathetic, very flippant. Like the subject was Missy was talking about how her brother was murdered in the street in front of his baby. And you're just being flippant about it. And to me, she was more like disparaging the dead. You know, she was disparaging Missy's brother because she was saying that hugs were involved. You know, not hugs, rugs. Honestly, if Kimmy thinks that it's inappropriate to bring it up at the winery, then tell her that. But don't go and talk about it to someone else. And like I said, disparaging Missy's brother's reputation. I mean, he's gone. He's dead. That's not cool. Like, I myself, when I first saw it, I was like, well, this is kind of heavy for like a day out at the winery, but I would have never said anything. Like, I wouldn't have been like, man, that was a real buzzkill at the winery. I wouldn't have said anything. And I certainly wouldn't have like talked shit on Missy and her brother. I wouldn't have done that. Kimmy, once again, Kimmy thinks that Missy's being used as a pawn to make Margot look bad. So Margot goes outside to talk to Kimmy, Kimmy goes outside to talk to Missy, and she gives an apology, and she's like, listen, I'm not apathetic, and I am the most sympathetic person around. And I want to apologize to you if you felt I was being insensitive. That's a bullshit apology. Like, when somebody comes up to you and maybe they say something shitty and they go, listen, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry if you took it the wrong way. Like, instead of saying, and she said she didn't intentionally mean to hurt her, she's like, that's just me. That's how I am. I talk how I talk. What she should have apologized for was what she said about Missy's brother. Honestly, like, that was the worst. That was the worst part. She should have said, I'm really sorry for what I said about your brother. I apologize. I'm really sorry. But she didn't. She's never going to apologize. And then Missy left. And Mark went down to the car and was like, I'm sorry. You know, Kimmy is very triggered. Kimmy has events in her life and that triggered her. And, you know, I am sorry. And then it ended. So listen, in the comments, let me know if you watched. If nobody told you yet today, you are loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there. Always, please spread kindness because it is free. Let's always be aware of our surroundings, be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water right here. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy your way so you make it through. Tomorrow, we're going to get into a Monday chit chat about some pop culture happenings. So we'll chat tomorrow. Okay, on Monday. And I have to work 5 days this week. I don't have any days off. So, all right, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye.